Hey guys, it's Patrick. So I was working on a recipe last week and I made a super huge mistake. You can actually watch it, the footage of it, and I'm second guessed myself, which was super stupid because I was right the first time, and instead of fixing it like I knew how to fix it, I made a really dumb mistake and just kept going along with the wrong thing, and I made something that wasn't really of a good quality or good caliber, so I decided not to post that. Also, I had some personal stuff going on this week, so I didn't get a Thursday video up. But today, or a Wednesday video, that's right, I do videos on Sunday and Wednesday. But today I'm going to be making chocolate mousse, which is really easy, and if you ever get any surprise guest over and you're like, oh poop, I need dessert, this is what it is, and it's super easy, and you probably already have this stuff in your house. So to start out, we need two basic ingredients. I have 2 cups of milk chocolate chips, and then I have 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, or 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. You may also need sugar if you're using semi-sweet chocolate. I'm using milk chocolate, which is already sweet on its own. So let's get started. So to start out, I'm just going to put my chocolate chips in my bowl and melt them down. And then I'm going to put this on a really low heat. I just want to melt the chocolate. I don't want to burn it. Typically when you're working with chocolate, you don't melt it over direct heat, but this is going to be folded into something else, and it's already milk chocolate, so it's already been tempered, and you don't need to worry about it. Next up, I'm going to put my 2 cups of whipped cream in, or heavy whipping cream, into a bowl, and I'm just going to mix it on high and whip it up until it's whipped cream. Alright, so my whipped cream is all whipped up. I've actually probably taken it a little further than you typically would for whipped cream, which is okay because my chocolate's still melting, and that'll give it some time to go back to revert to its original state. It's really important when you're whipping whipped cream that you remember if you over whip it and you walk away from it, you may end up with water all over the place, as when you whip it up too much, it kind of swirls together and acts like a centrifuge, and the liquid will fling all over the place and you'll end up with butter. So I'm just going to leave that sit while the chocolate continues to melt. Alright, so as my chocolate continues to melt, I'm simply going to, and I'm actually doing a really bad job at this because I have my camera in one hand and a spatula on the other hand. I've got this on a super low heat, but I just kind of want the heat from the melted chocolate to help do the work. So I am actually, let me take this out a little bit so you can see the entire pan, folding the unmelted parts in on themselves so I get an even melt and the chocolate doesn't burn. Alright, so my chocolate is pretty evenly melted. That took a total of about maybe 15 minutes. Remember, I had it on low heat, and every once in a while I was folding the unmelted bits in onto the melted bits to let the heat of the melted chocolate do their work. Alright, so anytime you're making a mousse, you always want to remember that you want to stabilize it with something so it doesn't collapse. One of the reasons this recipe works very well without adding anything like gelatin is because when the chocolate cools, it'll re-solidify and it'll completely change the texture of the milk. So the whipped cream won't go back in on itself. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to pour in a little bit of the chocolate at a time. I want to do this slowly because I don't want it to cool too fast, and I also don't want to have a giant mess. And then I'm going to put my mixer on a low speed and start to fold that in. Alright, so my chocolate has been incorporated into my whipped cream. I'm going to let this sit for a little while because, again, the chocolate as it cools down is going to try and go back to a solid state, and that'll hold the whipped cream and give it this nice moussey texture as well. If you wanted to get a little crazy and a little fancy, you could also melt a tiny bit of rum or maybe like a really nice Cabernet into the chocolate as it melts, and it'll give it a nice sophisticated flavor. You don't want to do too much because, again, you don't want to have alcohol-flavored chocolate mousse. And you just want to kind of give off that nice Cabernet flavor that most people like. Alright, so it's been a few hours and my mousse has been chilling. There are a few different ways you could plate this up. First of all, you could put it in a nice little demi-tasse cup and like I have right here, and pretend it's whipped cream, and top it with a little bit of whipped cream, and it could be a little itty bitty shot. I don't have any whipped cream anymore. I used all of mine in my mousse because I didn't have enough forethought. You could crumble up some graham crackers and layer it in, or you can do what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it a little healthier. I'm going to layer this in with some raspberries. So I'm going to take a little bit of mousse. This is all just stuff that I have on hand. I was thinking about this as it was setting. I'm like, we're going to dish this one up. And you know, if you don't drink, you can put it in a bowl. You can certainly eat it by the bowl. I'm putting mine in a wine glass. I think that's a nice, cute presentation. But you don't want to put a lot in there. This is just because I don't want it to be too tart, and I don't want the chocolate to be overwhelming. But that's what it looks like. If I had thought further enough ahead and not used all my whipped cream, I would have some. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to eat some right now because this is pretty fantastic. Alright guys, so that was my quick and easy chocolate mousse. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you do make it and you want to get crazy with it, remember you can always split the mousse and melt other things in. I just did a quick chocolate mousse. You can also put in a little rum, a little wine. One time I melted chocolate candy bits in there at Christmas and layered in peppermint candy bits with chocolate mousse. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tomorrow I'm going to post a bonus video on making pepperoni rolls, which is kind of a cult staple where I grew up in West Virginia. It should be this national state food, and if you've never had a pepperoni roll, they're awesome. Also, it's one of the best ways that I can honor where I grew up, because I think I grew up in one of the most beautiful places on the earth. So until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Give it a thumbs up if you like it.